If you're new to Point, if you're a rookie, just make sure you've completed your onboarding process. We have like a Google form you need to fill out to make sure you know how to get in Slack and get all of our software set up. So if you're not getting Slack messages and you're not seeing that stuff come through, then make sure you get that app downloaded. If you're having any questions about it, just go to your manager and they can work with me to get you set up. Please confirm your start date with your manager. You probably put a start and an end date in your paperwork when you signed, but there were default dates in there for most people, and those weren't necessarily the dates you're actually planning to sell. So now that it's getting a little closer and you're starting to make your plans, please just confirm with your manager the exact date you'll be getting to your area, because we're booking housing already and we want to make sure we got a place for you. And especially if you're going to be going out earlier than you originally planned, that's really, really important that you let us know so that we have a bed for you. And if you're planning to start at any time in April, we are already starting to get our badges printed and getting everybody set up. So just make sure you've submitted a photo, which is part of that onboarding form. So if you haven't done that, then one of the things we need to get from you right now is a photo. That'll be the photo that we use for all of our social media shout outs that we do during the summer. It'll be for our dashboard, where we do our universal dashboard where we show everybody's sales for the summer. And it's also what we use on your badge that you'll be wearing while you're knocking. So it's, you pick the photo, but I just need to have it as soon as possible. All right, upcoming tomorrow, we got a big activity tomorrow night at Provo Beach Resort. So if you're local, so everybody in this room, definitely come down. If you're not local and you want to drive down, drive up to us, we'll be there tomorrow night. Anytime after 5 p.m., just go into Provo Beach. If you have recruits that you're thinking about joining you this summer, bring them along. They can meet people, they can have some fun with us. And they just check in at the desk at Provo Beach and they'll give you a wristband or a pass. And then it does include a flow rider if you want to do the flow rider, but just make sure you bring your suit and then tell them when you check in that you want to do flow rider. And they'll add that to your pass. So anytime between 5 and 9 p.m. tomorrow, we're just gonna be hanging out. Next training will be next Wednesday, March 5th in Cedar City and Rexburg. So there'll be this same training in those remote locations. And so the people that are on Zoom, come down to your local training so you can do more role play and get your training a little bit more in person. And then for those that are leaders, we're doing our leadership training. Our next leadership training is going to be the retreat in St. George, March 7th through the 9th. So make sure that you've RSVP'd for that.
I was just gonna say on that, I thought I could do the last meeting tonight. So we're gonna start, we will do training on Friday night in St. George for leaders. So try to get there by 5, 6 o'clock, and then we'll train that evening, go do something fun, and then training again on Saturday morning. And then Saturday, second half of Saturday is just fun. You can head home anytime after the second half of Saturday. So thank you. That's the plan for St. George.
Yeah, we want to make sure you're there by about 5 p.m. Saturday, Friday. And then the next time we'll be here doing this is Wednesday, March 12th. So just put that on your calendars, clear it, make sure you're here. Every minute you can spend training before the summer is gonna add dollars to your pocket. I promise. I've seen it in every year. People that train and that take the time, they do better. And then I'm gonna turn it over to Parker. He's got an announcement, and then we're gonna jump in. So Parker.
All right. So yeah, I have if you know my story and kind of what I'm passionate about is like, sales is such a valuable skill, and it will help you generate a lot of active income. We want to help you create wealth here and learn how to create wealth. It's like something that myself and a lot of our regionals are really passionate about. And so, me and some people have put in a lot of work into building out a real estate course, and we want to give you guys access to it. So more details will be coming on that, but starting in the middle of March, going till the middle of April, we're going to do in-person weekly meetups on Saturday mornings. And our goal is to teach you all things real estate investing so that you can go into the summer with a really clear vision. If that's something that you're interested in, you should pull up and learn. So, benefit from as a to create wealth at a young age. And there's a lot of things that are but if you figure out your finances early in life, it will greatly bless. And figuring out your finances is the active vehicle. Again, if you can learn how to invest at a young age, it will create amazing freedom. So the goal is we want you showing up to summer with just like a really strong big why, and we want you pumped about going and grinding, because this job is hard. And there will be hot days, there will be rainy days, there will be days where you get, yelled at by a Karen, or, you want to have a really strong conviction for why you're doing this job. So anyway, more details will be to come on that within the week. We'll announce it, but we're going to kind of give you guys, really the main reason why we're doing this is for you guys. Like, it is open invite. So we want you to bring friends from other companies, because we want to add value to other companies. Like I want to have like an abundance mentality where we teach the whole industry. I think our industry could benefit from less Lamborghinis and more rental properties. So that's gonna be our brand. Like, we want to create a brand here at Point of investors and people that at a young age are being wise with their money and good stewards of their money. So anyway, so more details to come on that real estate masterclass. Stay tuned for that.
Let's give a round of applause for that. That's amazing.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks. So here's a map of where we're going to be this summer, which is cool. I had this thought with there, and I thought we should just show this. But this summer, we're about 200 reps hired. We're probably going to be about 250 reps in a bunch of different states. So I guess we have 4 clients that we're marketing for, 8 teams this summer, 10 states, over 200 reps. So anyway, it's exciting. Let's give ourselves a hand for building something. So it'll be fun. It's gonna be an awesome year. Our biggest year ever, and we have amazing momentum, and it's gonna be a heck of a year. So if you're on this list, then you're hired. If you're not, then you should get hired, because this is an awesome job. So okay, cool. I'm gonna turn it over to 2 regionals tonight. So Parker and Carter are gonna be doing the training. These guys that are doing these trainings have done this job at a super, super high level. And there's gonna be nuggets like all night long that will literally translate into dollars. Like, that's the beauty of this job, is any little things that you can go and learn. Literally, there will be conversations in summer like that. If you just share 1 or 2 little things differently, you can find hot buttons with customers and sell accounts. And so I'm really grateful that you're all here tonight. You should be super proud of yourself for being here, investing your time. And there's a lot of things you could invest your time into. This is one that will pay big dividends. I mean that. So let's give these guys a hand.
Cool. Thanks, Bart. Cool. Well, let's get started, guys. So here's some objectives for tonight. We're going to review some of the previous steps from the sales cycle, and then learn and practice. Parker and I are going to be asking for some participation today. So whoever gets up is going to win a prize. So just keep that in the back of your head. Today, we're going to be training on the inspection, which comes right after the front door approach. So when people ask how much, we usually do a walk around. So we'll be teaching that tonight. And then part of that is creating need, value, and urgency.
Cool. Well, you guys have all seen this. If you've attended all the trainings this year, you've seen this like every single time. Do I have like a volunteer from like a first year rep? They can say them in order. Any first year rep know the cycle already? Oh, in the back.
Initial approach.
Yes. So that's gonna be your first step. It's like your first like 4 to 8 seconds with the customer. Does anyone have the second one?
Insider response.
Response. This is where you're going to be bringing up that you're in the area for the day, and that we're going to be doing our pest control at a discount. Does anyone know this one? This is a big important one.
Overcome objection.
Overcome objection. That one there, that's what we reviewed last time. And this is where you're gonna have your 5 predictable responses. Where they're either asking you what we're treating for, how much it costs, if they have a company, they're not interested. So yeah, there's a lot of power in this, because if you can't overcome these objections, it's gonna get really hard to get into their backyard and do what we're covering tonight, which is the presenting portion of it. So within presenting, like Carter mentioned, we're gonna have like 3 key ingredients that we're gonna cover tonight. The first one's gonna be need. The second one as value, and then the last one is urgency. If you nail all 3 of these for that customer, then you are going to get the deal. It's really hard for a customer not to buy when they see the reason why they need it. They see the value and like how much it costs, and then they're urgent enough to buy it at that time. Then the last step, which you're getting really close to doing at the end of your inspection, is going to be closing. And we'll cover that next time.
Cool. Eli, do you mind reading through this initial approach? We'll just do a review of the initial.
Yeah, we just finished up at Glenn's. Has anyone let you know what's going on?
Then you can keep going.
Perfect. My trucks are in the area doing pest control. Just curious, who do you have coming out this year for your home?
Cool. And then you can also go down the other route of, if I can fit you in, we can treat your home for about half off, right? So this shouldn't be new to anyone. We've practiced this quite a bit. We've reviewed it quite a bit, but just for the sake of reviewing, I'll go ahead and role play it again.
Go.
This is the initial. From the top.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. I'm just stopping by. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a lot of work across the street at Bob's house. Did he tell you what's going on?
No.
So I do the pest control for him and about 20 other homes in the area. I was just curious who you guys have coming out to do that for you.
We don't have anyone do it.
Okay, well, if I could fit you in while my truck is around, we could do it for super cheap.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
How much is that?
cool.
So you give him a hand. Yeah.
Okay, okay, cool. Any questions on that? Okay,
Awesome. So these are gonna be your 4 responses that you're going to get from what Carter just
so
said.
many clicks from all of them.
Yeah, let's show them all. So you can generate a how much. That is amazing to hear. You definitely want to hear that. That's what's gonna lead you into the backyard. You can get a what are you treating for? Also amazing to hear. That means that they're curious on like what bugs that we take care of, meaning that they probably have bugs at their house. The next one, I always take positive outlook on it all, not interested. They can be not interested for several reasons, and there's like little subtail responses for each of those. When they just say not interested, this is going to be like our go-to response for that. And then the last one, they already see the value of having a pest control company because they have one treat their home. So then we're going to have a switch over pitch that's going to help them understand why it's more beneficial for them to have us treat their home. So yeah, we covered this last time, and you've had a whole week or so to kind of review that and practice it with your manager. So I was wondering first if we had some volunteers to lead some of these, and then a brave soul to stand up and maybe do one of them.
First year rep. They want a first year rep up here.
Do I have a volunteer just to read how much? Yeah, thank you.
Great question. What is your square footage? Perfect. I just need to do a quick inspection on the outside of the home, and then we'll give you a free quote. Is the gate on the left or the right?
Great. If anyone remembers this, I'll love them forever. What are the 3 words in there that we want to emphasize when we're doing this? In the back.
Quick, outside and free,
Awesome. And why do we want to do that?
because their time is valuable to them and they don't want it to be kind of invading on their space inside. And it's free.
Yeah. a lot of quotes cost money. People don't want strangers in their home, and then people are busy. So that phrase there, gets rid of like the 3 core objections that you're gonna get when you say that. So it's nice. A volunteer to read What Are You Treating For? Awesome.
Great question. Let me show you. We take care of all the general pests in your area. What do you usually see the most of?
Awesome. That one's pretty self-explanatory. After you show them, you're gonna tell them that we treat for all the general pests in the area, ask them what they see, and then you'll tell them that we take care of that, so that we can fit them in, we'll do it for them. Not interested. Parker, you wanna read that one?
Sure. No worries, just so you know, some of the neighbors have been seeing a little bit of pest activity, so they are taking advantage of our discounts. When was the last time you had a professional service?
Cool. What, do you guys think in this tailored response will like help promote, the person to change their mind to then ask you how much?
When is the last time you had your home for professional service?
Yeah, if they haven't ever had it serviced, or if it's been a really tough, long time, they might think, oh, I might need a service on my home, right? The other thing that I really like about this is they're gonna see just a little bit of pest activity, so the neighbors are starting to see bugs around their home. People don't want to see that, so it can motivate them to like start taking like a preventative action. And then the switch over, one last volunteer. Tanner?
Yep.
Thank you.
Totally. It's a great idea to have someone coming out who treats your home. If they have not already told you. How long have they been coming out? Just so you know, a ton of people are jumping on with us because we are local and doing a lot more for a lot better value.
Awesome. Tanner is awesome. He sold for a couple of years. Why do you ask those 2 questions?
Well, if somebody has only had a company for like a couple months, likely that they are already in contract. So you have to go about things a little bit different. What was the other question?
Who do you have?
Oh, and then also that kind of same idea. It's just knowing your playing field. You're gonna treat different companies different because they are all gonna do different things.
Yeah, I think those 2 are really good qualifying questions, and they can lead you to take the conversation in like a different direction. By the time you guys get out this summer and you guys like really start learning other companies, you'll have good ideas of who's local, who's not, who charges more, who charges less, and a lot of like useful information that way.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
So like if Carter, like if you're the sales rep and I'm the customer and you're doing a switch over, and I have a big nationwide company, how might your tailored response differ versus if I was a local, if I had a local company?
Yeah,
So, like if I have Terminex, who's like, you know, like the McDonald's of pest control.
Right. Yeah, I might focus, it's always gonna be different between those 2, so I might focus more on value and like quality of service over if it's like a mom and pop shop that they have. And then if it's a large corporate company, then it's like, hey, I'm a local guy, give you a better bang for your buck. But so it could mean that we do it for cheaper as well. So there's always a balance there, but.
Love it. So I think that word tailored response, or that phrase you use, like that's a good example of, you know, you're gonna use a tailored response depending on who they have, right, on a switchover. And that same principle applies to any of the objections, like your tailored response is gonna change depending on what the objection is, because it's just a logic statement that kind of speaks to their situation.
Yeah.
Cool. Who all in here is a first year rep? There's a ton of hands in here. That's awesome, guys.
Let's go.
Yeah, well, thank you guys for coming tonight. I think it's awesome. The best way to prepare for your summer is by coming to these and then spending time with your manager. Any of you first year reps that have spent some time like practicing some of these, I'd love for one of you guys to volunteer and come up and just role play. We'll just do what are you treating for or how much you guys could pick. Yeah, you want to give it a go?
Let's go.
Come up here.
Yeah. Round of
Mr.
applause.
Bean. Cooper, nice to meet you. Awesome. I mean, you could pick any of them if you feel comfortable with like a not interested, or if you wanted to do just choose one. Yeah.
Cooper, this
I
is-
love that.
This is good karma for you, dude. Your first summer, you're
Gonna
gonna
be
get like,
blessed.
you're gonna get like a,
Get
you're gonna get a
flashback.
grandma that loves you that just wants this done so bad.
Yeah.
Because you're doing this tonight.
First door.
First door of the summer, potentially. Could be.
Yeah.
I love that.
I'll pray for that. Alright.
Awesome. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good. Well, I'm not gonna take up much of your time, but I'm doing some work over at your neighbor Bob's house. I was wondering if he's come by, let you tap.
No, yeah, Bob hasn't filled me in on anything.
Okay, perfect. Real quick, I'm just doing some pest control in the area. I'm also doing 5 other homes. I was wondering who you have coming out servicing your home.
Yeah, I don't have, anybody treating my home.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So.
If I could fit you in.
Oh, yeah. If I could fit you in, I could do it for super cheap.
Okay, yeah, what are you guys treating for?
Yeah, we're treating for a bunch of bugs right here, if you wanna look.
Okay, yeah,
This is the sheet.
oh, awesome.
But yeah, we'll just treat for the bugs. I know that it's like early in the season, but a lot of neighbors are doing preventive service
Okay,
just before it starts to heat.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and how much is that?
What's the square footage of your home?
2,000 square foot.
1,000? All right. Well, I could do a quick free inspection around the house if you would like. Stay on the left or the right?
Just on left there. That was really good. I mean, it's a first year and like a lot of this material's been out for him or knowledge to him for like a week, right? So pretty hard to have it extremely dialed at this point.
And it's in front of 40 pairs of eyes. dude.
Yeah. If you think like knocking a door is scary, being up here and doing it in front of like a bunch of like your peers, that's a lot scarier. So give it up to him one more time.
Okay, perfect. Now we'll jump into the inspection. The key points. Is this you or me?
I think it's me. Cool. So, just like, overcoming an objection where you have like an empathy statement, a tailored response, a close, there is actually a cycle to our time that we spend in the backyard. So, to kind of walk you through like visually what this is going to look like, that customer is going to ask you how much, and you're going to say awesome, and you do an inspection. There's your gate on the right, and then when you say yeah, the gate's on the right, you say cool. If you just want to meet me in the backyard, that'd be great. So you walk through their gate, you're looking at their house. The customer throws some shoes on, they come out back, and then this is where we're starting. So right then is when like these key points kind of start taking place. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to introduce yourself and shake their hand. We used to have like fist bump up there during like COVID, but I think we're good to shake hands now. So yeah, you'll shake your hand, introduce yourself, get their name. Usually at this point of your guys' interactions, you haven't done that yet. Then you're going to reiterate why you're there. So this is going to be like the message of like, my trucks are in the area today. I've been working with your neighbors. And then you're gonna ask a couple informational questions. This is like almost like a qualifying section. You're trying to see what is going to help you fulfill like their need and their value on their home. So those 2 questions are gonna be, how long have you guys been in the area, or how long have you guys been in your home? And then it's gonna be, when was the last time you had a professional service on your home? Ask you guys a question like, why do you think these 2 questions like give you vital information? Like, what about them helps you know what direction to go? Noah.
If you know how long they've been in the area, you can kind of gauge, like, they understand their home, they know what bugs they usually see. And if you ask them if they've had a professional service before, you can kind of gauge their experience based off of, like, what was that like? What did you really like about it? Why did you do that in the first place? You can kind of just like learn a lot from those 2 questions, I guess.
Yeah, if a person has just moved into the home, right? So maybe they've been in the home for 4 weeks or 4 months. How well do you think they know like their seasonal bug activity that they get throughout the year? Like, not at all, right? So at that point, like this becomes very informative, like this is what the neighbors see throughout the year, right? If they've been there for 20 years, then they probably know what they see each year. They kind of have maybe a system on how they even treat that themselves. And then, when was last time you had a professional service on your home? That's gonna be like a really good indicator on how in depth you need to go on the pest control service, right? This person's always getting their home serviced. They probably know, you know, that there's a foundation treatment or that there's yard options or like the eaves. But if they've never had a service before, then you might need to explain, cool, this is what we do. This is what pest control is and how often, you know, we treat their home. And then, you're just gonna use that to build like the need, value, and urgency there. Yeah, those are kind of steps.
Okay, so now getting into the need, what would be the number one reason that people would need pest control? Sounds like a dumb question. Bugs,
Yes,
right?
So smart.
Oh my God, rocket scientist. Bug. So yeah, bugs and prevention. So whether people have bugs currently or if we need to do prevention work, that's a huge need that people have. So in the process of like building need, there's a few things that you can do. These aren't exactly steps. These are just like things that you can do to build need. So you can show bugs around their home. Why would that be powerful to build need? Yeah.
You're seeing what the problem is.
Yeah, you're seeing the
You're seeing
evidence
the
like
ants.
right in front of them, right? Like I treat for that. That's why I'm here, right? And then you can paint a mental picture of bugs. When I get to the backyard, I love to use sales slicks. This is one of my favorite like go-to sales slicks for need. It's a wall void sheet that shows bugs in the walls. So we're trying to like paint a mental picture of bugs to them, like what we're doing preventatively or actively for their bugs. And then home maintenance and appearance. I actually want Parker to speak to this because we talked about this a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think when I'm on an inspection, obviously I'm using my eyes and I'm trying to figure out if I see bugs and if there's like clues, right? So sometimes you see bugs, other times you see things that bugs do, like wasp nests and spider webs and things like that. And I know we all live in Utah and it's like cold and pest control has a need here. Like I have rentals here where I do have pest control, but in the spots we sell, it's a lot more needed, honestly. And so like there's spider webs on their eaves and there's wasp nests up top and there's ants crawling on their foundation. So you can kind of sell this like aesthetics, like not only will we prevent bugs, but we're going to keep your home looking pretty and nice throughout the year for all 4 seasons, which makes a big difference. Like you can literally, if you've sold before, you can get really good at walking up to a home and just figuring out, like even just like glancing at it, if they have a pest control company or not, based off of how their home looks. So I'll just like, if I have stuff I can point to, I'll point to that and just show like I take care of that and I would keep it looking really good for you so you don't have that throughout the year going forward.
Yeah, I love that. I think that actually ties into one of the other needs, which is bandwagon or trend, right? Can someone explain to me what keeping up with the Joneses means?
Keeping up with the Joneses is like, my neighbor is getting it, I have to get it too. My
Yeah.
neighbor just got a new car, I need a new car.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So that's exactly why when we do our front door approach, we try to name drop people in the neighborhood that we're currently working with. This is the prime reason that we do it. So in the backyard, usually you want to try to have like to build as much need as possible, and so you can do both, like build trends as a need and bugs or preventative as a need. But how you do that, you mention any of the neighbors that are close by and what they're dealing with or what kind of work they're doing. So like a common need phrase that I would use if I'm in the backyard and I don't see a ton of activity, I'll be like, just so that you know, a lot of the neighbors aren't seeing too much. They're just seeing like a few of the ants and spiders. Or like I'll speak to like directly what like one of the neighbors by name is actually doing with, right? So both of those things can be super powerful to build need off of. I'm curious though, what, if any, no wrong answers here. Can you think of other needs that people would have that would make them bypass control? Yeah.
We have dogs or kids.
Yeah, probably, right? Like lots of people have kids or like spouses that are allergic, like you'll knock on a door and people will be like, oh man, we have wasps, like super allergic, or like dogs, that's a big thing. We do a tick and flea treatment, so that's great. What else? I think I saw another hand. Yeah,
Kind of goes with preventative, but like each home needs like a flush or a professional flush just to get the bugs out and stuff, and just good for the home, like good for the health of the home, I guess.
yeah, I love that. That kind of ties into this as well, but yeah, I love that, dude. Cool. When we're gonna get into the value side now, but the thing to keep in mind with need is obviously the problem that they have. Value is how we're going to fix that problem. Okay.
Cool. See, I'm gonna be talking about the solution to their problem, right? And that just has a couple steps. It's definitely, yeah, I guess just one thing I would like to mention, just I guess about inspections as a whole, is people buy from people they like. I'm sure we've said that a couple times up here throughout the last couple trainings, but this is gonna be your part where you can kind of take the gloves off and like have a little bit more fun with the customer and like get to know them on like a little bit greater of a level. I think this is the funnest part of like making deals, is like figuring out what their needs are and then going into the value of like how you can help them solve that problem. But yeah, the way that you're gonna do that is you're gonna go over the scope of service. So this is gonna be like what our technician does when they roll up to their house, for like the next 45 minutes to an hour, treating their property. You're gonna cover the frequency, so how often we treat their home. The answer to that, if you don't know, is gonna be 4 times a year or every 3 months, once a season. So it needs to be really clear to that customer, like, hey, we're coming out 4 times. This isn't a one-time treatment. That way, like everybody's on the same page. And the best way to like do that and bring up the 4 treatments per year is to follow it up with the guarantee. So in between those quarterly treatments, we offer free retreatments on their home. So we'll come back for free as many times as they need to get rid of their bugs. And traditionally, during like peak seasons, a lot of people call their pest control back to come during peak summertime when bugs are like most active on their home. So it's really nice for those customers to know that we're not going to charge them again to treat their place in between those quarterly treatments. The next part I just wanted to talk about, the thing that's going to help you a ton in the backyard is like being extremely knowledgeable. People, if you know your stuff, like people are going to trust you. And so there'll be some training videos that we'll have that like your manager will have that they can kind of show you. But I just wanted to give you guys like a brief overview of a couple things that we do to the home. Like Parker mentioned, a lot of people will get like spider webs on their house or wasp nests. And our technicians, this is a guy with Frontline in a red shirt, but they have a big extendable rod that has a brush on the end, and it allows them to get up underneath all the eaves of the home and around the gutters, doors, and windows. Clean off all the spider webs, any wasp nests that are hanging up there, and then like any tiny little spider egg sacs. When they do that, they actually put a little bit of product on the brush with Frontline. I don't know if Palisade does the same thing, but with Frontline, they'll put powder on the brush and apply a product that'll help keep those bugs off in between those visits. One of the core principles, or like principles isn't probably the right word, but core things that like every pest control company does is they do a barrier treatment, right? Like the goal is to keep these bugs from entering doorways, going through cracks and crevices through the home. So with all of our clients, what they do is they actually treat 3 feet up the foundation and then 3 feet out. So they actually treat the soil out. What that does is it creates a really big barrier for the customer, so those bugs aren't going to like enter their home. This little contraption here is a granular. It's got like almost like a fertilizer style product in it, and he'll spread that around the yard, and that'll help minimize bugs and kind of extend the barrier farther from their house. And then we offer interior treatments. They'll treat like outlets or backsplashes or like baseboards around appliances. That guy's treating around the fridge right there. Yeah, that's kind of like the general gist. There's other things that we can do, but you'll learn a lot more of that as like you get into the summer and train with the managers, so.
Yeah, one just tip here as well, there's gonna be a temptation, like, we do quite a bit, when it comes to people's houses and we customize it to them. But there's gonna be a temptation to like, kind of like fire hose to the mouth, like everything that we do in the backyard to the customer. Tailor it to them. We have a tailored approach for a reason. So tailor, if they have ants and spiders, like tailor it to them. You can mention the other parts of the service, but it doesn't need to be like super crazy. So just a little side tip.
Yeah, maybe just to speak to that for like 2 seconds
Yeah.
too. I mean, even me, like I've sold for, I don't know, this will be my 6th summer now, and I've spent time with Parker and a couple other of the regionals before me. And yeah, a lot of times like people want to hear the solution to their problem, and if it's not the solution to their problem, they typically don't care about it, right? If you're looking for a Corvette and the guy's trying to tell you about miles per gallon and how like efficient that Corvette is, you probably don't care, right? You just want a fast, good-looking car. And so, yeah, definitely speak to their problems, and you don't want to take up a ton of their time. So be specific with the way that we treat their home.
What are the, one last question on this, what's the difference in features and benefits in selling? Does anyone know the answer to that? So like if I'm selling and I'm explaining, customer has ants, how do I take what Parker taught in terms of what the tech does and couple it with a benefit? Anyone have an idea on that? Yeah, Diggs.
If you wanna roll with the ants one, the feature that we do is we do that spray. That's the feature.
Yep.
The benefit is that you're not gonna have ants in your home, or that your home's gonna be protected from this.
Love it. Features and benefits. People buy because of benefits, not because of features. Like, so love that.
Yeah, great thought. Last part is urgency. Even though this is the last part to the inspection, you should have urgency throughout the entire inspection. As Parker and I were preparing these slides, like usually when we do an inspection, you'll see it from him today, but watch for the little urgency lines that he has throughout the inspection. To a veteran that has sold already, obviously, if you don't have urgency in your inspection, what are a couple of objections that you usually get at the end of like doing your rate card?
I need to check with my wife.
Check with wife, right? That's a big one. Hard, right? So presenting urgency doesn't always mean that like you're gonna negate having more objections, but you can definitely save yourself a lot of time and energy if you just have some urgency. We're here today, you presented that on the doorstep. If I can fit you in, we can treat your home for about half off, right? We have urgency there. We need to hold that tone that we've already set throughout the inspections. This is a great line that a lot of our vets use all the time. If you will work with me on the timing, I can definitely work with you on the price. You'll probably hear Parker say something similar to that in the inspection.
I'll pretty much say that word for word.
Yeah, it's a great line,
Yeah.
yeah. Cool, and then here's just the whole inspection. So we'll just review it all and then Parker will give it to us.
Cool. Yeah, one last thing I think before I show it, with me at least, and like kind of the features and the benefits conversation. Anytime that I mention frequency, like if I tell them it and then they ask it to me later again, just to like clarify, I always, anytime I talk about it, I always want to go back to the guarantee, right? Cause like the feature is that we come out 4 times a year. The benefit is it's guaranteed. So it's for free, right? Like we'll come anytime they need. It's just 4 minimum treatments, right? So I think that's like a really big thing that helps out in the long run is anytime we talk about frequency, we're also going to follow it up with guarantee. Do you have anything to add like before I show it?
No, I think on that same topic, like the way I think of it is like anything that could be perceived as bad news to the customer, like you're coming multiple times a year, which means I'm paying you kind of consistently. Or if we're talking about money, like I'm going to spend money as the rep, again, anytime, to Parker's point, anytime I'm going to share anything that could be perceived as bad to the customer, I'm going to follow it up, that bad news, with good news, which is usually like guarantee, yeah, but I am doing it for really cheap because I'm here. Like anytime there's a negative, you kind of sprinkle in a little positive to make it taste better for the customer. So yeah.
Yeah, great thought. Cool, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Awesome. So
Parker is super good at this, so get
Yeah,
your
especially
phones out, Take some
No,
notes.
I don't
Yeah,
know
get a
about that. That's a
recording.
lot of pressure. Yeah, just like envision this with me. So this is gonna be like our house, right? There's gonna be like an eave up here. This is the foundation. But yeah, I'm gonna just talk to his needs, right? So I'm not gonna cover the whole scope tonight. But yeah, definitely an inspection. So
Parker sold probably 3, 4, 5, 6 plus a day every day last year, like lots of sales every day, very consistent. Do you have a 0 day all year last year? 1 0 day last out of 100 days.
Yep.
So lots of sales.
yeah, pretty fun stuff. I love it. Cool. So yeah, we just got done with the front door. Let's say he didn't to any bugs on the front door. He just kind of gave me a how much. So I don't know a ton of information yet. So cool. Hey, my name's Parker.
Carter.
Nice to meet you,
Yeah,
Carter.
you too.
Yeah, I love your backyard. This is really nice.
Yeah, thank you. We spend a lot of time back here.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I love the neighborhood. It's really great. I've loved working with your neighbors, and I'm glad that they have me out here just today.
Yeah, so you do Bob's house then next
Yeah.
door?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Bob's one of our guys. He was kind of mainly dealing with a few of those little tiny ants and stuff.
Okay, cool.
Have you guys ever had your home treated before?
Yeah, we had it done when we first moved in, but that was several years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How long have you guys been in the home?
I think we're on year 5.
Cool. Yeah, it's definitely been a little bit then.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
Cool. When you called them out before, was it for the ants like with Bob, or was it for spiders or wasps? Or?
Yeah, it was kind of all of it, but ants get pretty bad here for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Is that what Bob's mainly doing?
Yeah, Bob dealt with the ants. Are you mainly seeing those inside or just outside?
Yeah, they pop up in the kitchen every now and again, but
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, well, we definitely take care of those. Bob really likes our service, obviously, and quite a few of these guys out here. The biggest thing that we're gonna do for those ants.
Okay, pause. What's the need?
Ants.
Ants. And he's kind of mentioned, what has he mentioned? Ants, and then has he kind of mentioned Bob a couple times? So like going into scope of service, like listen for how Parker now takes that information and applies it and creates a solution.
So yeah, so what Bob really likes about our service is gonna be that foundation treatment.
Okay.
So what we would do to your house if you had us out today is we would treat your foundation 3 feet up and then 3 feet out around the entire home.
Okay.
Pretty much what that's gonna do for you is just gonna keep those ants out of the kitchen and keep them out here in the yard where you don't have to deal with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then what we are doing, we're putting all the neighbors on the same schedule this year. So we're gonna treat their home quarterly or 4 times in the year. The reason they love that is we actually guarantee it. So if you see anything in between, feel free to shoot us a call. We'll come back out here, especially if you see something pop up.
Okay, cool. That's actually awesome.
But yeah, if you're definitely willing to give us a try and kind of work with me on the timing, I would love to work with you on the price. Let me kind of show you what that would look like.
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Cool. Good. Yeah, let's pick out a couple things that you guys like from that, or that you want to like apply in your inspection. Couple comments. No.
I like how he gave him an option, like, do you see the ants inside or outside? I think that's pretty valuable. It kind of went between the lines in what he did, but like if you can nail down a spot where he's seeing it, then you can pretty much see where to go and then get the response from there.
Yeah, it kind of became my hot button and he kept like hitting it. Yeah, love that. Okay, couple more. Yeah.
I think what I liked is that you said he's been dealing with ants, you've been seeing anything else, like you're seeing if he has any other problems that Bob might have.
Mhm.
You know, yeah, he could see ants too, but maybe his biggest pain point is the wasp that keeps stinging him when he's mowing his lawn, right? So I do like to ask a little follow-up question sometimes in that scenario, like, is there anything else or is it just the ants? And he's like, just the ants. Cool. Let's move into that. So.
This is really subtle, and I've actually never heard it said before, so it was cool to learn some new things tonight. But we entered the backyard. I always compliment the neighborhood. It's pretty, like, and it's fun to work outside. That's like one of the benefits, features, and benefits of
Even
our
if you're in the
job.
hood.
Even if you're in the hood, dude, you don't
It's
even
an
get to see the hood in
experience,
Utah.
yeah.
So, but not only does he benefit or compliment the neighborhood, he says, "I'm really glad Bob had me out here today," and is pushing the urgency of like, I'm here today doing work, which is why you should work with me and do this discount because I'm only here today. So it's a subtle way to bring urgency right off the bat.
the thing with urgency, guys, is, I like to use the phrase like too little, too late. Meaning that like when you get to the end of your inspection, if you haven't built urgency somewhere in there and you close them, you're gonna get those couple of objections that we covered, and it's kind of hard to overcome those. It's not impossible, like we'll teach you how to do it, but you're taking a couple steps back, now you're having to fight your way through the sale again. But if you can build it and keep that urgency trend like moving forward throughout the inspection, then when you get to that closing part, they fill it enough and they'll buy, right? So.
That's more of a question, but in the urgency, it says you're willing to work with me on timing. Is that more for when the service comes out itself, or in the
Yeah.
urgency of doing it right now?
Yeah, so, yeah, that's a great question. So timing, like, we're there right then that day, like servicing homes in the area. You guys will have a route that you can schedule on as well. And so we're just, it's a transaction, right? Like, if you'll work with me on the timing, I'll work with you on the price. It's a trade, right? I don't have a lot of time today. And like, if you would work with me, then I'll discount it pretty heavily for you.
Sometimes I'll even like logically explain why, if a customer if I feel like they need it. And the why is like, there's, our technician having to like do one job on one side of town and then another job on the other opposite side of town, like it's inefficient. It costs gas, it costs money, and we pay them by the hour, So like, if you work with me on the time and let us get your place done while my tech's out in this area doing all these houses, then I'll help you out with the price under for discount. So some customers need like that why and that explanation, and you can just tell them like it's our business model. And
Yeah,
You
people
don't-
audibly
it
be
doesn't-
like, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, oh yeah,
It's
all the
very
time.
logical, right?
Yeah.
And it's not just that one time either. Sorry to butt in, but like
No, you're good.
every single quarter we're doing it. So like it exponentially builds on itself. Like imagine if we're going cross town every single quarter for like random customers versus boom, 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 Bob, Sally, Joan. They're all getting it done at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there's two parts to that, right? There's the service side that it's like very logical and you can explain that like Parker said, but then there's also the side of like, you can only be in one place at one time. And at that moment you're in their backyard. And a lot of you guys will be on foot. Hopefully you guys get segways. I'm a big Segway guy. It's very convenient, but it takes time to like, you're knocking the whole neighborhood. You're on one end talking to this guy in his backyard. There's not enough urgency. He's going to tell you to come back at 8 p.m. that night. Well, it's a 15-minute walk from your other guy that you got to go to. You just end up burning a lot of time going back to people's homes. So sometimes what I'll say is, if you're willing to work with me on timing while I'm here right now, and I just kind of like reiterate that, right? Like I'm here right now if you're willing to work with me on timing. Because yeah, it's kind of both reasons. I want to save myself time because I want to sell as many deals as I can. And then, yeah, logistically through the service provider, it's efficient, right? So,
Yeah, love it.
Can I add one little thing?
yeah.
So this is just like a small little nugget that I discovered, like just trying things out, but when I say what time Bob is getting treated, if I'm like, yeah, so we're gonna be over there later today at 5 p.m. For some reason, I still don't understand this. People love convenience and they want to figure out how they can make it so their appointment is either before that or after that. And so I found it to be weirdly valuable to say, yeah, we'll be over there tomorrow at 1 p.m. I don't know if you could have us come here first or after that. They usually will figure it out and they'll be super down
It
if
makes
you
it
do that.
feel super realistic to them like us.
That builds on keeping up with the Joneses, right? The trend factor as well.
Yeah. Noah, you had a comment.
Yeah, something I like to do to stress urgency as well is like, just so you know, we're out here today, does that make sense? And almost asking a question and then getting them to agree with you saying, yeah, then they can't. Like, they can't go back.
That's actually genius.
Them saying like, yeah, I understood that you're out here today, but like, let's figure out a way we can do it tomorrow and I'll just give you a call. Like that doesn't work, they already agreed with you. So that's something I like to do.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's a great thought. Cool. Any last takeaways from tonight? Okay, cool. So homework, we're gonna be practicing the inspection now. So we'll break off into groups with your managers or with your leaders so we can practice this. And then over the next week, your homework is to review the slides for training number 5. We've harped up on this a little bit, but if you guys come prepared to these trainings, it's gonna be a lot more impactful for you. So, anyway, yeah, let's break off. Thank you guys for coming.
turn this back to the present slide so you guys can see it. You guys want. So.